Why fear is your best friend in personal growth. Hello, everyone. Today, we'll talk about fear, an emotion that everyone experiences, yet few truly understand how to use effectively. Some people let fear control them, others run from it, but a few turn it into a powerful tool for growth. Today, we will explore how to make fear your greatest ally. Interactive questions. What fears have held you back in life? Think about them or share if you'd like. Have you ever let fear stop you from making an important decision? 1.2. 3 common myths about fear. Crossmark myth number 1, fear is bad. Truth, fear is just a brain reaction that can be directed positively. Crossmark myth number 2, successful people don't feel fear. Truth, everyone feels fear. The difference is that successful people act despite it. Crossmark myth number 3, to get rid of fear, avoid it. Truth, avoiding fear only makes it stronger. 2. The science of fear, 10 minutes. 2.1. How fear works in the brain. The amygdala, a part of the brain, instantly activates when detecting a threat. Fear hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, prepare the body for action. The problem is that the brain doesn't distinguish between real danger, a tiger in the jungle, and social fear, judgment, failure. 2.2. Why fear is a growth indicator, not a barrier. Evolution designed fear to help us survive. In the modern world, fear signals where we need to grow. Example. If you're afraid of public speaking, it means you need to develop confidence. If you're afraid of changing jobs, it's a sign of potential progress. Key insight. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a roadmap to growth. 3. How fear fuels personal development, 10 minutes. 3.1. 3 stories of great people who used fear to succeed. 1. Michael Jordan. He was cut from his high school basketball team. He feared he would never be great. His fear of failure made him train harder than anyone. Later, he said, "I have failed over and over, and that is why I succeed." 2. Elon Musk. When launching Tesla and SpaceX, he feared complete failure. He said, "I thought the chance of success was less than 10%, but I did it anyway." Now, he's a billionaire who transformed industries. 3. Jim Carrey. As a child, his family lived in a van, and he feared lifelong poverty. He wrote himself a check for $10 million and promised himself he would cash it one day. Years later, he earned $10 million for the movie Dumb and Dumber. Conclusion. Every great person has felt fear, but they refuse to let it stop them. 4. The 4 main types of fear and how they benefit you, 10 minutes. 4.1. Fear of failure. What if I fail? Truth, every failure is a lesson. Example. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Solution. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this failure? 4.2. Fear of judgment. What will people think? People think. 5.1. The what if method. Break down the worst-case scenario. 90% of fears will seem irrational. 5.2. The small steps technique. If public speaking scares you, start by speaking in front of a mirror. 5.3. The reframe fear method. Instead of saying, "I'm afraid," say, "I'm energized." Athletes use this technique before competitions. 5.4. Mindfulness practice. Observe fear without resisting it. Example. People afraid of flying calm down when they simply observe their fear without fighting it. 6. Conclusion and final thoughts, 5 minutes. 6.1. Key takeaways. Fear is not your enemy, it's your guide. If you feel fear, it means you're growing. Great people feel fear but act anyway. 6.2. Final quote. Every time you feel fear, ask yourself, what if this is my opportunity to become better? 6.3. Q&A session. Open discussion. Summary. Heavy checkmark. Fear is a sign of growth. Heavy checkmark. Avoiding fear leads to stagnation. So how do you turn fear into your ally? First, use the what if method. Write down your fear, then list the worst-case scenario, the best-case scenario, and the most realistic outcome. You'll usually realize that the worst case isn't as bad as you imagined. Second, take small steps. If you're afraid of public speaking, don't start with a stadium of 10,000 people. Start by speaking in front of a mirror, then a small group of friends, then a larger audience. Each step makes the next one easier. Third, reframe your fear. Instead of saying, "I'm afraid," say, "I'm excited." This is a technique used by elite athletes before competitions. Fourth, observe your fear instead of resisting it. When you feel fear, instead of pushing it away, pause and acknowledge it. Notice how it feels in your body. Recognizing fear without fighting it reduces its power over you. Now, I want you to take action. Grab a piece of paper and create your own fear list. Write down 3 things you are afraid of, the opportunities hidden behind each one, and one small step you can take today. Here's an example. If you're afraid of switching careers, the opportunity might be a more fulfilling job, and the first step could be updating your resume. If you fear public speaking, the opportunity is increased confidence, and the first step could be practicing a speech alone. Taking even a small action is the difference between staying stuck and growing. Let me share a personal story. Years ago, I was terrified of public speaking. My hands would shake, my voice would tremble, and I would do anything to avoid standing in front of an audience. But I knew this fear was holding me back. So I started small. I practiced in front of a mirror, then in front of a few close friends. The first time I spoke in public, my voice still shook, but I survived. The second time, it got a little easier. Over time, I started to enjoy it. And now, I stand here today, not just comfortable, but excited to share this message with you. My fear didn't disappear, it transformed into power. And that's the final message I want to leave you with. Fear will always be with you, but now you have a choice. Will it be your prison guard, keeping you trapped in the same patterns? Or will it be your personal trainer, pushing you to become stronger? The next time fear appears, don't run from it, listen to it. It's not there to stop you. It's there to show you where you need to grow. Imagine if, instead of avoiding fear, you started following it. What if the thing you fear most is actually the key to your greatest opportunity? So, I ask you, what fear is holding you back right now? And what small step can you take today to start moving through it? Because in the end, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to act despite it. Fear is not a stop sign, it's a signal pointing you toward your next breakthrough.